us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
My name is Yalanda Alderson. As Mr. Weatherspoon has stated, I work for Division of Children and Family Services, and I've worked for the department for about 13 years. And so I am very excited to have the opportunity to come and to talk to each of you about something that's very dear to my heart, which is recruitment of foster and adoptive parents. And I'm just excited about it, and I'm glad that I have an opportunity to speak to you about it. I understand that I have about 10 to 15 minutes. I will not be long, but I want to make sure that I talk to you guys about some of the key points of DCFS and kind of give you an overview of what DCFS is about, and just talk to you about the need of foster parents and what you can do to become, what it takes to become a foster parent, or just what you can do to help DCFS as a whole. So as I stated earlier, I have worked for the Division of Children and Family Services for 13 years. And truly, I would say that I have a passion for working with children and family and community, and I wouldn't be working for the state for 13 years if I didn't truly love what I do. And so I really, I'm just excited about this, the position that I have, which is I am an area resource supervisor. And I cover 9 counties. I cover Garland County, I cover Polk, I cover Mena, Polk, Montgomery, Saline, Perry, Howard, any more, Garland. I'm trying to think of all of them, but I cover a lot of counties. And in the counties that I cover, I am responsible. One of my jobs is, my responsibility is to recruit foster and adoptive parents. So to tell you a little bit about DCFS, whenever we're involved with the family, our first goal is we want to make sure that children are safe. And we want to make sure that they're safe, but we want to try as much as possible, if we can, is to maintain those children in the home. And by doing that, we're trying to offer all the services that we can to maintain children in the home. And if that's just not possible, then unfortunately, sometimes end up coming into care. And when they do come into care, we understand that that is major trauma for a child. And so we want to, as much as possible, to reduce the trauma of the child being removed from their caregiver, and now here they are in foster care. And so some of the initiatives that we have when we're trying to reduce trauma on children that enter foster care is, we want to first, once they've entered care, we want to make sure that we try to seek out provisional placements, fictive kin placements, and non-custodial placements. So we're looking for a safe alternative placement for a child while we're working to get them back with their family. So when we talk about provisionals are those relative placements. When a child comes into care, we're seeking out relatives that can show that they've had a significant relationship with that child. And we're also looking for fictive kin. Fictive kin are someone that is not a relative, they're not blood relation, but they have a significant relationship with the child. They're their child's teacher, they're a coach, they're their pastor. It could just be someone that they have a significant tie with in their community. And then we also have a non-custodial parent, and those are what we would say there are fathers who take care of their children and the children aren't necessarily in the home with them. And so that is another initiative that we use to try to place children in a setting that is less traumatic for them when entering care. And sometimes, it happens where, we can't find that provisional, that fictive kin, that non-custodial placement. So then we are having to place a child into a traditional foster home. And that is one of the reasons why I am on here today to talk to you guys about the growing need for foster and adoptive parents, the growing need for foster and adoptive parents in Arkansas, and the growing need for foster and adoptive parents in Garland County. So I'm going to give you just a few numbers or statistics of our state numbers and also Pacific numbers for Garland County. Like I said, Garland County is one of the counties that I supervise. But in the state of Arkansas, we have over 4,715 children that are in foster care. This is in the state of Arkansas. And we have a total of 1,493 foster homes. And we have the total of beds for foster children is 3,269. So that gives us bed to child ratio to 0.669, okay? So as you can see, there is a great need for foster and adoptive parents in Arkansas in general. Next, as it relates to Garland County, because this is the Garland County chapter, I would just want to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here in Garland County. We have a total of 171 children that are in foster care, and we have a total of 57 foster homes. So let's let that settle in just right there. So we have 171 children that are in foster care, and we only have 57 foster homes, and we have 114 beds. So that gives us a ratio of 0.67. So that's, if you think about it, when we don't have enough foster homes to meet the amount of children that we have in the care, a lot of times that pushes children that are in this community to where we have to seek out placement in other counties. And that's something that we really and truly do not want to do to our children, especially with it already being traumatic with being removed from their caregiver, okay? The highest number of age of children that enter care here in Garland County are your children 0 to 1 and your children 2 to 5. So we have a higher number of young children that come into care rather than, the older children. And a lot of times that happens because younger children are the ones who need more care. They need more attention, okay? And so I wanted you to just let some of those numbers just set in and just remember that there is a great need for that. And also, as far as I won't go too deep in numbers, but we have more males in care versus females. We have about 104 males in care and 67 females in care, okay? And so there is a need for foster parents. There is a need for adoptive parents, and you guys can be a great help. You could be a great recruitment for us here in Garland County Division of Children and Family Services and for the state of Arkansas, okay? So just want to tell you a few things, requirements. It is to be a foster or adoptive parent. First off, you must be 21 years of age. You must be able to complete state, criminal, maltreatment, DMV, FBI background checks. You must be financially stable, capable of financially supporting children without assistance or board payment. You do get board payment, but we want to see if you're able to financially take care of the child before funds are given to you, because anything could happen. You must be able to pass a medical exam, provide 3 references, and you must have the square footage for a child in your home. And you must be able to meet minimum licensing standards. And there are a few other things. We have safe home study assessment that goes on. You also would have to be willing to go through foster parent training. And so those are just some qualifications, some things that you would have to be able to pass to begin the process of being a foster and adopted parent. And I know we hear a lot of times, you know, people are saying, what can I do? How can I help? You know, there are a lot of ways that you can help the department. You know, we always have, a lot of times we may have reasons of why we can't do something, but if we take the time to go and check it out, we find out that we may not be able to be a foster parent. We may not be able to do something else, but we're able to help in some way. And so on today, I've talked to you guys about being a foster parent. And I want to say this, that I believe that every community should have, we should have a lot of foster homes. We should have, Garland County should have more foster homes than they have now. Okay, I believe that every church should have foster homes, every family, every school district, you should have foster homes, because you never know when that loved one will come into care, and you can be that person to be there for that child when they come to care. And again, we're talking about reducing that trauma for the child. So you may say, well, I can't be a traditional foster parent. I just can't do it right now. I don't have the space, or I don't have the finances, or whatever the case is. There are different things that you can do to help children that are in foster care. There are different things you could do to help the state of Arkansas. First thing is that you can volunteer. You can volunteer your time. We have a volunteer process that you can go through where you can do those background checks, and you can come and you can volunteer your time. You can volunteer helping or mentoring children. You can volunteer with helping transport children. There are so many things that you can help us with in volunteering here at DCFS. You can also, if you're a part of an organization or your church just wants something that they can do, you can create care packages for children. You can do all type of backpack drives, suitcase drives, food drives. There are so many things that you can do to help children that are in foster care, okay? And so if any of you are wondering, how can I do this? How can I help? Where do I start? You can, if you're wanting to be a foster or adoptive parent, you can go to our website, which is www.fosterarkansas.org. And you can go online and do an inquiry. And once you do that inquiry, the inquiry unit will reach out to you and begin the process with you. If you are wanting to do any services or want to help out in a local way, you can also come to the local Garland County office here. We're on 115 Stover. And you can come and you can ask for me, Yalanda Alderson, and we can get you started with any type of volunteer services. Or if you're just wondering what we need here in Garland County, I would love to sit and talk to you about that. So I would hope that I've said something that has helped someone, that has maybe made you think about, you know, what can I do to help my community? And I just thank you for inviting me. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, first off, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and speak with us. and sharing this information with us. The question that I had, oh, I'm happy to hear that I can volunteer because I definitely don't qualify to be a foster parent. So I will be reaching out to you to do that. But my question is, so what is the main cause of children entering into the foster care system?
Well, I do not have the statistics in front of me, but I would say that a high number would deal with just neglect. It could be dealing with drug use of the caretaker, or it could be some form of maybe the parent just not knowing how to care for the child, or they just don't know. They just need help with parenting or resources. Sometimes it's just mental illness, and you know it's just needing that mentorship. But children, when we, like I said earlier, when we do bring children into care, we bring them into care because there's some type of imminent danger. We feel that that child is at risk. So our main priority is to keep them safe. So don't have the statistics on the highest reason why they come into care here in Garland County or the state of Arkansas. But I will say that if they do come into care, it's for a significant reason for them being into care: abuse or neglect.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
James, I have a question.
Yes.
When kids go into foster care, now the foster parents are sometimes, they do work sometimes other than do foster care, I would assume.
Is it
The foster parent has a job and they're a foster parent too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so one of the great things is, if you are working and you're thinking, oh, I can't work and be a foster parent. Yes, you can. If you and your spouse, or you, if you're single, if you're working full-time or part-time, we can provide you with full-time childcare and part-time childcare. So that's one of the, that's an incentive to let families know that you can work and foster. So yes, you can work and foster.
Okay, my other question is, what happens to a child what is available to a foster child once they age out of the foster care system?
Okay, so we have this program. It's transitional youth services, and what I call it is, it's called IOP, which is independent living services. And so when a child reaches the age of 14, they begin in this IOP services, where we would work with them. And a lot of children, they end up aging out of care. So what we want to do is we want to start them at 14 in IOP services, and it goes all the way up. And then once they are 18, I believe now you can stay in a care to 21. And so if they are 18, they still can remain in care until the age 21. And what that looks like is that we're going to support that child. If the child is wanting to, they may say, hey, I'm not college material, I'm just a person that maybe can just work. So we will give them IOP services as far as monetary assistance, each month to help them. And also, that's a great thing that you brought up about those services. We also have a need for what we call IOP sponsors. Those are sponsors for these young adults when they turn 18. And that's something that you can do to help a child. But we have those transitional living services. And if a child isn't going to college, we're going to help set them up and give them the tools that they need to help them while they're in college. And there's just going to be someone there with them to support them. So yes, the children do receive some type of monetary assistance. And also there is a guide with them that it's older and that can help guide them. But they do have to meet requirements. Of course, they have to, follow the rules in order to get that assistance, but it is there for them.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Any more questions?
I have one final question.
Okay.
And I heard part of the question answered. So you can be single. Now, are there any laws against same-sex couples?
No, you can cohabitate. Your partner would just have to be able to pass all those things I talked about, being 21 years of age and background checks and all that. So you and your partner would just have to be able to pass the same thing. So you can be same sex.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Ms. Yalanda, thank you so much for joining us today. This was excellent information. You spoke also to the Black ministers the other day, and you mentioned some positive stories. So can you just talk about some of the success that you've seen, like some good outcomes? Because sometimes when we talk about foster, we hear the doom and the gloom, but those success stories a lot of times get overlooked. So will you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. I believe it was Reverend Nicholson that was on when I was talking to the other group, and his daughter many years ago was a foster parent for us, and she would take in those hard to place children that were like maybe teen mothers or mothers that were pregnant or just teens in general. And a lot of people are in fear of those young people, and they're just as important as the younger children. But she would take those young people in, and she would love them as her own. She would take them on cruises and trips and love them as her own. And now 2 of the children, to my understanding, are police officers. One is a teacher. And so just because she decided that she wanted to give back to her community and reach out and help these young people, look at them now. They're successful, and they are showing that, hey, I made it, you can make it. And they can also be a great recruitment for other people to see that you should give me a chance. You should give a kid like me a chance, like my foster parent did. And one of the great things is that for anybody on here that is a believer, is that being a foster parent is a ministry within itself. It's mission work, because the whole goal is when these children come into foster care is we want to put them back with their family, and we want to reunite them. So you're a part of that reunification team. You can be a mentor for that family. You can show them how to do this and invite them to different places, invite them to church, and just really be a support system for them. And then when those children go back home, that children not only have their parent, but they also have that support of that old foster parent that was there for them. So there are a lot of success stories that happen within DCFS, but that was just one to name.
Thank you. Were there any other
If I may,
questions?
thank you for not so much a question, but a comment. Thank you for sharing the success stories. And what I've realized is that there's a stigma behind foster care. Um, I personally don't know anyone who has been in foster care, but from the families who have had children taken from them, they feel like DHS is the enemy. And with the information that you've provided, I can definitely go out and help educate others on how DHS is not the enemy, and it does want to preserve the family. because it's a common misconception that DHS does not want to preserve the family union.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, and I want to be clear that we have no desire to bring children into care, and even when bringing a child into care, we have to have reason, we have to have cause. There is a process, and our policy is reunification when we bring them into care. So that's what our goal is, and we try to put in measures so that we can reunite them as soon as possible. We do not want to keep children into care, but if they're not safe, then we are mandated. I mean, it is a mandate that we keep them safe, and so that's our mission. And then we'll work with the family.
Thank you for everything that you do. I know it's not an easy job.
Mm.
Awesome. Was there any other questions? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Well, Ms. Alderson, thank you so much for joining us today. This was awesome, excellent information. And will you share how they can get in touch with you?
Yes, yes, yes. I thought that my PowerPoint was going to be up, but you can reach me. My work cell is 479-567-1770. The main number to the DHS office here in Garland County is 501-321-2583. And then my email address is just simply Yalanda, which is YALANDA ALDERSON. So it's my first name, period, last name, period, okay, at DHS. And then you're going to spell Arkansas all the way out, .gov.
Was it dhs.arkansas.gov?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. This was awesome, and thank you very much.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Having me, and if any of you would like for me to come to your church or any organization that you're in or anything like that, I would love to come and talk more about the need for foster parents and adopted parents, and we can I can help with the inquiry process to get the ball rolling so we can get more homes in our area. So I hope to hear from somebody on this next week coming up.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right.